Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am Passioknit Kelsie and today's tutorial is going to be for this pair of granny square fingerless gloves. So for this tutorial today, you are going to need some worsted weight yarn. I am using Big Twist Living. You can of course use any yarn that you'd like as long as it is a 4 weight. You're also going to need a 4mm crochet hook as well as some scissors and a sewing needle. So the first thing that we're going to do is make our granny square. And to start our granny square, I am going to be doing a magic circle. I'll just go over it pretty quickly here. I have a full tutorial on my channel if you'd like, but I'll take the end, hold it with my thumb, take the long end, wrap it around my 2 fingers, make an X. I'm going to go under the bottom thread right here. I'm going to grab the top thread with my hook, pull it through to make a loop, grab that same yarn again one more time, pull it through the loop, take your fingers out, and we have our magic circle. From here we'll be starting our granny square, so I am going to go ahead and chain 2. This is not going to count as a stitch throughout the pattern. Moving on, I'm going to start with 2 double crochets right into our magic circle. Okay, I'm now going to chain 1, and then I want to put 2 more double crochets into the magic circle. And we are going to repeat that 5 more times for a total of 6 little clusters of 2 stitches with 1 chain in between each of them. So I just did 2 more. I'm going to chain 1 to create my little space, and I'm going to do 2 more double crochets into my magic circle. There we go. So right now I am at 3 clusters of 2 double crochets with chain 1s in between. See that? I want 6 of them, so I'll do 3 more. Okay, after you've done that and you have 6 clusters of 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we want to connect this in the round. Tighten my circle down a little bit by pulling on my end. And in between the last 2, we still need a space, so make sure you get that chain 1 in there. And then go ahead and do a slip stitch into the top of your first double crochet. There we go, that is round 1. To start round 2, we are going to chain 2 once again. This is not going to count as a stitch, so pretty much just ignore it. And then what we'll be doing is working into this space that is right under the chain 2. And the first thing we're going to do is 2 double crochets. So I'm going to yarn over, put my hook right into that space, and do 2 double crochets. Okay, from here I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to move into my next space. And for round 2, each space we're going to be increasing, so I want to do 2 little clusters of 2 double crochets, if that makes sense. So I'll start with my first cluster of 2 double crochets, both into that same space. There we go. I'm going to chain 1 in between, and then I'm going to put another cluster into that same space. So 2 more double crochets. There we go. Moving on to our next chain space from round 1. Right here, I'm going to do the same thing. So 2 clusters of 2 double crochets with a chain in between. Make sure you chain 1 before you go over there as well. There should be a chain 1 in between every cluster of 2, just like round 1. So 2 double crochets. Yes, make sure you chain 1 in between, put 2 more double crochets in there. I've done 2 in the space, so we can move on to the next one and do another increase. Make sure you chain 1. Work this pattern all the way around until you get back to the beginning. All right, once you come back towards the beginning where we started the row, you'll notice that in the first space we only have one cluster of 2, and in all the other spaces we have 2 clusters of 2, so we want to make that even. We're going to do 2 more double crochets in the first space where we started. Now make sure you chain 1 for that space in between and go ahead and slip stitch into the top of your first double crochet. And that is round 2. To start round 3, we're going to chain 2. This does not count as a stitch. We're also going to start working in the space that's right under that chain, just like we did on round 2. We're going to start with 3 double crochets this time. So I'll go ahead and yarn over, go into that space right there, and do my 3 double crochets. Chain 1 in between your clusters, and from here on out, in every single chain 1 space, we're going to be doing 3 double crochets. I've done my first 3, move along to my next chain 1 space, and do 3 more double crochets in that spot. Chain 1, and next space, same thing. Do this all the way around. Once you come back to the beginning, before you connect it in the round with the slip stitch, just make sure you do that last chain 1 spot and then slip stitch the round closed, and that is round 3. Now we are going to do our 4th and final round. This is what is actually going to turn this circle into a square. To start, I want you to chain 1, and then we are actually going to start this round with half double crochets. We are still going to be working into this last chain 1 space right here. So I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to start in that space with 3 half double crochets. It's 2 and 3 right there. Moving on, this is the only row that I won't be doing a chain 1 in between our spaces. So just right after you've done your 3 half double crochets, move on to your next open chain space. And I'm going to work 3 more half double crochets. There you go. In our 3rd space, we are going to do a double crochet corner. So you're going to start with a double crochet, and then you're going to do 2 more so that you have a cluster of 3. Okay, there's the first side of our corner. Then you will chain 2 and do 3 more double crochets into that same spot to turn your work at the corner. Okay, so you see how it makes our corner. Moving on, not chaining 1 again, we are going to do 3 half double crochets in the next chain space. Okay, we're going to do that one more time right here. 3 half double crochets in the next chain space. And there's our side. Now we need another corner. So I'm going to do the same thing that we did last time, which is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, all in this space right here. And there's my second corner. Now I have a side. So in the next 2 spaces, I will do 3 half double crochets. This is the first one. Next. All right, there's the side. We are going to do corner number 3. So I'm going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets again. There we go. Going to do the side work again. So 3 half double crochets in the next 2 chain spots. There we go. And lastly, there's 1 space left. A square has 4 corners, so we will work another corner. That is 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Okay. At this point, you can go ahead and cut off your yarn. I would also recommend weaving in your ends. I, for one, am going to pull this straight out like that. Grab my tapestry needle and thread that up. And then to connect this in the round, I will go under both legs of the first double crochet that we did, or half double crochet that we did in this round. Just go through there. And then, if you can see, I want to connect this with a loop, so I just need to go back down here. And that makes a pretty seamless join. And I'm going to flip over to the back. I'm going to weave these ends in right now because once it's inside a little glove, it's much harder. So we have officially finished our first granny square here. This should be about the size of your palm. And wrap around the sides just a little bit. See that? Now you're going to make another granny square. You're going to work rounds 1, 2, and 3 exactly the same. And then once you get to the final round 4, we're going to stop there and I will meet you to show you how to connect the squares together as you go. And here we are. I've done my first 3 rounds. I'm just about ready to do round 4, which is the last round. And we are going to connect these into our glove formation as we go. Set this one aside until we need it. The row will start the same. I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to do my first 3 half double crochets into this first space right there. Moving on to my next space, I'm going to do 3 half double crochets once again. Okay. Next, we will have a corner space, so I'm going to do 3 double crochets. And then from here, what you would do is chain 2 and then do your next 3 double crochets, but we're actually going to start connecting this to the other side as we go. So I will chain 1 and then get your other square, line up one of the sides. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you are looking at the front of it instead of the back. And you're going to find the first chain on this corner right here. There are 2 chains, right? And you want the one that is on the side that you're going to be attaching. So this one right here. I'm going to put my hook through there, the top 2 stitches, just like that. And then I will slip stitch through that chain and the loop on my hook to connect that corner. Tighten this down a little bit. So that was technically my second chain in the corner here. Next, I want to start with my double crochets, but first, you're always going to start by putting your hook through the top 2 loops of the corresponding stitch on the finished square. I'll be working my first double crochet of the corner, so I need to go through the top of the first double crochet on this corner for this whole side here. Should be the exact next stitch after the one that we just slip stitch into. Right? After that's in there, you can do your double crochet as normal. So yarn over, go into the space, and do your double crochet. Just on your last pull through, you're going to be pulling through all of this stuff on your hook. There you go. Next, go into the second double crochet right through the top and do your next double crochet. And you'll be doing this all the way across, working pretty much normally. So right there was my third double crochet. If you look at it from the side, the 3 double crochets on your finished square are now connected to the 3 double crochets that we just did right here on our first corner. Next 2 spaces are the side, which is 3 half double crochets and then 3 half double crochets again in the next 2 spaces. So do that, but while you are doing that, just make sure you first go through the top of that stitch on this side, do your half double, next stitch, next stitch again, and there you go. You're going to continue this all the way down until you get to 1 chain past this cluster right on the corner, because we're just connecting the one side. Done my 2 half double crochet clusters. Moving on, I have 3 double crochets and 1 chain left to connect. Okay, so that was my 3 double crochets. I have 1 chain left to do, so I'll go through the top of that and chain or slip stitch in this case. And there you go. Your sides should now be connected. But we still need to keep working round 4 on this square right here. The bottom is going to be normal, and then once you get over to this side, we're going to connect it again, but this time we will be leaving a thumb hole opening. Moving forward, I've done 1 chain so far on the corner, so I need to do 1 more to make a chain 2, and then I will complete my other cluster of 3 double crochets in that space. Okay, next 2 I need to do my 3 half double crochets. Now we're at the next corner, so I can do the first 3 double crochets and a chain 1. That completes the bottom side that we're currently working on. Now, like I said, we're going to connect these, so I'm going to fold it in half, and we will be connecting this side to the side that we're currently crocheting on. We're going to start the same way that we did on the other side, which is going into the first chain right here, go through the top loop, yarn over, and slip stitch. There you go. And then I'm going to connect the first 2 double crochets. So I'll go through the first double crochet, work my first double crochet on this side. There's 1, go through the second one, and do number 2 on this side. There we go. From here on out, until I get to the last 3 stitches, which is going to be the last 2 double crochets and then the chain 1, I'm just going to be working normally. What that's going to do is it will leave an opening for your thumb. So I just worked my last double crochet in this set of 3. I did not connect the top. Moving along to the next space, I need to do my 3 half double crochets, just like normal, not connecting or anything. Next space, 3 half double crochets again. Okay, next space, I have 1 double crochet to do. And then that is enough space for our thumb, so we're going to have to start connecting the last 3 stitches, just like we connected the first 3 stitches. So flip over to this side and find where it starts. So here is my chain 1, and then I have this stitch and this stitch. So it's going to start right here. Put my hook right through there. And then I'll go back to this side, work that double crochet, my first stitch, second double crochet, connected, and the last one is the chain. So I'll go through there, do a slip stitch, and then that is done. We're connected on the side with an opening for your thumb. We still need to finish our 4th round on this granny square, so I'm going to chain 1 to finish my 2 chains in the corner. I need to do 3 more double crochets in this hole right here. And then we can connect our round right here where we started. On the first square, whenever we reach this point, we cut our yarn off, but we're not going to do that right now because we're actually just going to continue crocheting from this point on. I'm going to connect the round with a slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet that I did. There we go. And then I am going to chain 1, and I will begin doing a row of single crochet around the top of this. This is going to be where your fingers are. So you can make this as tall or as short as you want, actually, but I am going to do 3 rows of single crochet because that is how tall I like it to be. I will just be doing single crochets in every stitch around. Nothing crazy. Once you come to the sides, you can do a single crochet in the first chain space. I like to do a single crochet into this line right here, if you can see it. Just go right through there where it's connected. Best you can, really. Try to get right in the middle. And then do another one in the next chain space and continue working around in the top of every stitch. All right, I came back around to where we started. I'll do a slip stitch to close the round. And then I'm not going to be turning my work. You can if you'd like, but I'm just going to do another round right from here. Chain 1 and start again. Like I said, I'm going to do 3 rounds of single crochet just like this, and then we can tie off. Okay, I am back and done with my 3 rows of single crochet. That is tall enough for me, like I've said. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off my yarn here. And I will connect this in the same way that I connected the square. So I'll just pull this straight up and out. My tapestry needle. You're going to go under both sides of the first stitch that you did in the round. Maybe. Yes. There you go. And then you want to connect that V right there. So you're going to go down this spot. And that makes a nice, pretty seamless join. Go ahead and weave in your ends, and then we will work on the cuff. From here, to start your cuff, get your yarn. You're going to tie a slip knot. Put that on your hook. And then the first thing we're going to do is work a round of single crochets on the bottom of our glove here. You can start pretty much anywhere. There will be a seam, so I usually just try to put it like on the inner wrist where you will see it the least, or you could start on the side, wherever you want. And you will just put a standing single crochet to start the row and single crochet all the way around just like you did up here. Okay, once you have made it all the way around, go ahead and slip stitch into the top of your first single crochet to close the round. Now we are going to make a chain. This chain is going to determine the length of your ribbing. Yes, you can make this really as long or as short as you'd like, but generally I usually do 12 stitches long. So I need to chain 13, that is 12 stitches plus a turning chain. 1, 2, 3, No? Okay, I'll count to myself. Okay, I have 13 there. We're now gonna kind of rotate our work because we're gonna be working up and down like this. From here, I'll turn my work and I will start doing a row of single crochets back down. You'll do every single crochet until you get to the last one. The last one will be different because we need to connect it to the top of this row. All right, I'm at my last stitch here. So I will go through the last stitch, yarn over and pull through like you normally would to start a single crochet. But next you would yarn over, pull through 2. Instead, you're going to put your hook into the next stitch that's on your project right here. And then after you've done that, you can yarn over and pull through everything on your hook to finish your last single crochet. Yes? Okay. So that row is now officially connected. To connect the next row, you're going to have to do a slip stitch into the next space. So what that does is it connects the beginning of our first row. So we can go ahead and turn our work and we are ready to start the next row. The first stitch that you do is always going to be just a regular single crochet. So we're going to go through both loops. Whenever you're doing it, make sure you are going into the top of your first single crochet and you're not going into this slip stitch that we just did, all right? So go right into your next single crochet, both loops, and just do a regular single crochet. Next, you are going to do the back loop only, and that is what creates the faux ribbing. So go into the back loop and do your single crochet like that. This will continue all the way up the row until you get to the very last stitch. Okay, I did back loop only single crochets all the way up until the last stitch here. And the last stitch, I'm just going to do a regular single crochet. I'll catch both loops just like that. All right, now you will turn your work and start row number 3. This will also always start with a regular single crochet. So I'll go through both loops here and do my single crochet. And then once again, we'll be working in the back loop only. I'm going to do this all the way until I get to the last stitch. Okay, last stitch is still going to be back loop only, but you have to remember to connect it on your second pull through. So first pull through, back loop only, yarn over, pull through. Now you need to connect. So go into the next space right here, put your hook through there, and then do your second pull through and go through everything on your hook to complete the next single crochet. And from here, it's just going to repeat. So we have to connect the beginning of the next round, which means we need to go into the next stitch, do a slip stitch, and that connects the beginning. Go ahead and turn your work. The first stitch will be a regular single crochet. Start your back loop only single crochets until you get to the end. Into the last stitch, just do a regular single crochet through both loops. There you go. Turn your work. First stitch is going to be a regular single crochet once again. Now start working in your back loops all the way until you get to the last stitch. On the last stitch, you will also go through the back loop, yarn over, pull through, and then make sure you connect it to your glove. So go into the next stitch right here, and then yarn over and pull through everything on your hook to complete your last single crochet. And obviously you will repeat this process all the way around until you get back to here. All right, I have worked all the way around. I've connected it to every stitch, and I finished right here at the top. So from here, I am going to cut off my yarn. We need to sew this together, so make sure you leave yourself enough yarn to do that. And instead of just pulling straight up and out, I'm actually going to pull it through one more time to make a bit of a chain and then pull it through. Grab your tapestry needle. And we are going to be doing a whip stitch to close this up. On this side, we are going to go through the back loop only. And then on this side, you can go through both loops on the other side of the starting chain that we did. Yes? So just match those up. Start on this side, go through the back loop, first stitch, and on this side, go ahead and go through both loops of the first chain that we have there. Next, back loop on this side, both loops on this side. And do that all the way down. Okay, once you've got all the way down, this is what it should look like generally. You can go ahead and weave in your end, and then we will be finished. And there you have it. One fingerless glove. Now, obviously, if you're going to make a pair of gloves, you're going to need 2 of them, and the process is going to be exactly the same. So you can just repeat everything we just did until you have a full pair of fingerless gloves. These guys are pretty simple, pretty neat. You can do this with many different kinds of granny squares as long as it is about the right size for your hands. Then you're pretty much set. But that is going to be it for this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you made some nice fingerless gloves. If you did, let me know about it in the comment section. What color did you make? Did you have a good time? Are you wearing them? Are you staying warm? All that jazz. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content. I make vlogs every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and occasionally put out tutorials like this one. So that's it. I will see you guys next time. Bye!